watching.
Subscribe.
Hey everyone, it's SoCalVal and you're watching Screen Stalker. Today we're going to talk about the universe. Did I mention I was a science major? Okay, I'm kidding. I don't know anything about science and these glasses aren't even real. The only universe I care about is the Marvel Universe. It's a little known fact that I, SoCalVal, am a total Marvel mark, and it's my honor today to walk you through the beginning of Marvel's live action films, starting with my favorite superhero movie of all time. Press the thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and you can answer our question of the day in the comments below. Which movie is the best in Phase 1 of the MCU? Let's take it back to where it all began, with Iron Man. In 2008, Marvel burst onto the Hollywood scene with its first major film, Iron Man, played by Robert Downey Jr. Now, to me, this movie was flawless, the perfect introductory film for any Marvel fan, regardless of age or gender. It appeals to everybody. Brilliant acting by RDJ. That's Robert Downey Jr., by the way. I think when you reach a certain level of cool, you're entitled to only go by your initials, right? And Gwyneth Paltrow is great too as Pepper Potts. She's great in everything really, but in this film, she is particularly magnetic, and Tony and Pepper have this beautiful on-screen chemistry. To add some evil flair to the film, they cast Jeff Bridges, who plays the major greedy corporate bad guy, and his performance is super on point. The film delves into Tony Stark's journey to becoming Iron Man and highlights his inner struggles and guilt over corporate greed. There was enough action to keep us all happy, but perhaps more importantly, the storytelling was worth getting invested in. And people did. It grossed over $585 million at the box office, and it kickstarted us into the Marvel Universe. Also in 2008, Marvel introduced us to the Incredible Hulk, played by Edward Norton? While a lot of people claimed the movie lacked substance, I couldn't get over how wonderful Edward Norton was in this role. I mean, my God, the guy's Hollywood street cred really speaks for itself. The only disconnect I had was is this a deep enough movie for Edward Norton? I mean, sure, Bruce Banner is tortured, but I sort of prefer my Ed Norton characters to be a little more deranged, a little more layered, not painted green and smashing things. It was a bit of a miss on the casting front because even Liv Tyler as his love interest felt a bit odd. For Marvel fans, this is one of those movies that people barely remember, which is quite sad. I mean, I would recommend this as a good film, but as we progress, you'll see why this film kind of lifts out of the brilliant Marvel tapestry that we've woven over time. Later in 2010, the sequel to Iron Man came out and made even more money than the original. They added Mickey Rourke as the main villain, coupled with an absolutely flawless performance by Sam Rockwell, who in my opinion made this film into the juggernaut it became. This is also the film in which Marvel introduced us to two new characters, War Machine and Black Widow. It grossed a whopping $623.9 million at the box office on a $200 million budget. A good day for Stark Industries indeed. In 2011, Marvel took a bit of a mythological turn by introducing us to Thor, played by Chris Hemsworth. You know, it's worth noting that while all of the Marvel superheroes are fictional, Thor is a legit god in Norse mythology. Ancient people literally worshipped him as the god of thunder. Now women worship Chris Hemsworth as the god of shirtless selfies. Funny how times change, right? Thor is surrounded by a strong cast of characters like Loki, who's played by the dashing yet dastardly Tom Hiddleston, and Odin, their dear old dad, is played by Sir Anthony Hopkins. The first Thor film is really, really good, a must-see. And did I mention that the director is Kenneth Branagh? How weird, right? Yeah, that Kenneth Branagh. The Hamlet guy! Oh, and of course he was in Harry Potter too, so obviously he's amazing. Anyway, the only gripe I had with this film is Natalie Portman. Oh, Natalie. She was awesome in it, but who on this planet, or any other planet, is buying her as the geeky girl next door? You can put all the flannel and Ugg boots you want on her. It's Queen Amidala, y'all! She's gorgeous! And almost convincing as a regular person in this film. Almost. Also in 2011, we were introduced to another Marvel hero, Captain America. Now, Captain America, the first Avenger, wasn't as flashy as, say, Iron Man or Thor, but I do think its appeal lies in the heartfelt storytelling. Chris Evans is perfect, and damn sexy, as our chemically enhanced American war hero who falls in love with Peggy Carter, portrayed beautifully by Haley Atwell. Now, obviously, with the film's backdrop of World War II, the storyline gets a little political here and there, and our villain is Red Skull. He's like this Nazi guy suffering from some sort of microdermabrasion gone wrong. Ew. You know, if he spent a little more time on his skincare regime and less time underestimating the badassery of Captain America, maybe his war efforts would have been more successful. Alas, Captain America saves the day and of course gets the girl's great niece in Civil War. Ew. Weird. I love Captain America and everything he stands for, and I do always say that out of all of the Avengers, he really is the only one who's marriage material. Cause like Tony Stark is too much of a rich playboy to ever commit, plus he's like braggadocious and really loud, and that gets really old after 2 cocktails. Thor has potential, but he's super quick to anger and he has better hair than me, and I do not need that kind of competition in my life. And don't get me started on the Incredible Hulk. I mean, he is like absolutely undateable. He's more like your drunk friend that embarrasses you and always gets in a fight at the bar, but when they're sober, they're actually really dull and into like science and reading and books and all that stuff boring people do. But back to Captain America. At the end of the film, we see a cameo by Nick Fury, and we're introduced to the first Infinity Stone with the Tesseract. That damn Tesseract. Now trust me, you'll need to remember this whole stone situation. More on that later. Moving on to 2012, it was a huge year for Marvel as the Avengers finally assemble on screen. In their first film as an ensemble cast, the Avengers shows all of our heroes coming together for one big blockbuster movie. Iron Man, Thor, the Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow, Loki, Hawkeye, Ringo, the gang's all here. The film delivers in every single way. Kick-ass action, amazing visuals, and solid storytelling. It's a thrill ride that collected over $1 billion at the box office. It set the tone for the Avengers both as a unit and as individual heroes. More Marvel live-action movies poured in after this, and I am prepared to review them all for you right here on Screen Stalker. So tune in next week for part 2 of my Marvel Universe reviews. In the meantime, click the video on the left to find out why Disney Studios has now rehired James Gunn to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Also, make sure you give us a like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you don't miss any of our awesome content. I'm SoCal Val for Screen Stalker. We're watching.